What's up, Mr. O here, and today we're gonna learn how to read and identify the measurement of an angle. Most of us knows the measurement of angles called degrees. I understand that degrees can also be mean temperature, but for today we're gonna use the degrees as reading the measurement of an angle. Okay, so we all know at the full circle, like when you do basketball slam dunk, when you go a full rotation, it's called 360s. And the reason why there is probably during the old times, the old folks, the Persian calendar used the entire full circle of the star of the North Star as a whole 360 rotation. I mean, so and also 360 is a good number to divide by multiple numbers. The even numbers and some of the odd. It's a good number to be if you know math, if you know arithmetic. It's a good number. Anyway, so let's go ahead now. Okay, so first we need to know some basic stuff here. Okay, degree. What do we know about degree? Is an angle measurement. It's a use that we use for a plane angle measurement, and we use the symbol, the small circle, when we use degree. For example, 360 degrees. Some they use 360 the word deg or degrees. It doesn't matter. Okay. When you're given a measurement in degrees, it's always said to be moving in a certain position that goes to a counterclockwise. It will only be clockwise if it's mentioned. Okay, when I say clockwise and counterclockwise and measure an angle, you have to understand that there's this called initial side and the terminal side. I know in geometry they called ray, but now since we are moving to the introduction of trigonometry, we will call this initial side and terminal side. Now, the initial side is always, imagine you're always in the Cartesian plane, that this is always on the positive x-axis. It's always on the positive x-axis. But we don't have to write the x and y-axis here for this case. Okay, so this is the initial side and this is the terminal side. This is the one that moves. For this case, let's say it's going to move, again, an angle that is given. It's always going to move counterclockwise unless you were told that it has to go to clockwise. When it moves counterclockwise, it's going to be positive measurement or positive angle. When you go to clockwise, then it becomes negative. Okay. For this case, for example, let's say this is 45 degrees. Okay. So that means this is going to that terminal side, and from here to there measures 45 degrees. Okay. Another basic things that you need to know. Say we have our angle here. Okay. So this is our initial side. In the initial side, that's where it starts. It lands to 0 degree. And if our terminal side ends right here, so it's assumed to be going that way, is counterclockwise. That measures the box. What's the box? Based on what we've learned before, the box there measures 90 degrees. That's why from here, from the initial side, going that one is just 90. But if it makes a full rotation, no, if it makes half rotation from the 0 degree, that's my initial side, and goes this way and ends here. So basically we have something like this kind of angle. This is my initial side and goes around like that and stop over here in terminal side, like having two opposite rays. That measures 180 degrees. Like here, you have a 90 there and you have a 90 here. That makes it 180. And let's say our angle continues to progress going to the same direction of counterclockwise. So let's say this is my initial side and this is my this is my terminal side, and it moves this way. We know this is 90, 180, and goes around and stop right here. What do you think is the answer? So 90 here plus another 90 is 180. So this is now like 270 degrees moving counterclockwise. And let's say if it continues to progress, if this is my initial side, this is the initial, take note, and it goes a full rotation, boom. It also ends on the same where my initial side is. What do you think would that be? That is a complete rotation. That is called 360 degrees. ¿Entiendes? Perfecto. Good. Now, that is moving counterclockwise, you know. There are cases that our graph will move more than 360. So you need to pay attention to the arc, or to the revolution. For example, this one here. So 90, I'm gonna zoom it. 90, 180, 270, 360. And then it keeps going, let's say, boom. So let's start this one here. Started with the initial side, always that's the initial side. And then it landed, after several revolutions, it landed on the same portion, same side as our initial side. So what's the answer? So here, 90, 180, 270, 360. 360, that's a one complete revolution and another complete revolution. So 360 plus 360, that gives us 720 degrees. Got it? Okay, next. Now, again, I mentioned it, assume it's always going to move counterclockwise if it's not mentioned. But there are times that you will see it says, or it looks like it's going to do clockwise. So for example, we have a clockwise. So let's say I tell you that this one goes this way, and this is my initial side, and it stopped right here. Then we know that this is a clockwise, the way the clock moves. Then that will be a negative movement. So for example, this one here goes that way, so let's say that's negative 50 degrees. Okay. And let's say I have another one. It can also go, this is my initial side, and let's say it goes straight right here. And this is my terminal side with a clockwise. So I know, same thing with that. It goes from here to there, just one, from one axis to another. And also like here, but this one is clockwise. That's still a box there. So we know that this is negative 90 degrees. And now let's say if we do a complete revolution going that to a half revolution, I mean from the initial side to the terminal side. This is the terminal. and this is the initial side, but the movement is going this way, it's going to be negative, which is negative 180 degrees, right? And likewise, if we continue from here, this is the initial side, it goes that way and stop right here. That is considered to be negative 270 degrees. And a complete revolution from this initial side here, it goes over one complete revolution and stop the same spot where the initial side is in a clockwise. That's a negative 360 degrees. Okay, so it's very easy. Just have to know a couple of things. You know what is the initial side, where the terminal side goes, the movement, if it's counterclockwise, is going to be positive. If it's a clockwise, it's going to be negative. Some basic things that you should know, that from the 0 degree, this is the 90, the 180, from here is 180, from here go around is 270, and the complete revolution is 360. And likewise if you go the other way around. Okay, so this is the video number 1 and we will have a video number 2 for practice. Kaboom.